What is up, Mav fans and hoop heads? Hope your vibes are immaculate today. I'm AG, your host, CEO, director, manager, and all that. Welcome on into another episode of Mavs Rundown. Appreciate you for listening. Man, the Mavs fall tonight, 116-95 to the Minnesota Timberwolves at Minnesota. Disappointing loss. It seems like the guys just didn't show up tonight. It's cold there. Maybe that's why. I don't know. It just was an very off night shooting wise, and that pretty much sums up the game. You know, we got all the open looks we wanted, but the Mavs just could not knock them down tonight. First we can go through the box score, I guess. Luka still did his thing for the most part. He had a little bit off night, but he just kept, shooting them up, putting them up, and some of them were falling, especially those threes at the end. But, by the time he's making them, it's too late. But he had 24 points, 10 rebounds, 8 assists. So, a good night, stat-wise from him. 8 of 18 shooting, 5 of 11 from 3. So, shooting-wise, all right. There's just nobody else really stepped up and hit these shots. He had 8 assists, but, man, it easily would have been double digits tonight if these guys would have hit these open shots. Like Dodo, man, only finished with 7 points. He was 3 of 11, 1 of 8 from 3. 1 of 8, man. Damn. I mean, he's still doing good stuff all around on defense and stuff, but that 1 of 8 is killer. Just like in Reggie Bullock, the counterpart, other 3-and-D guy, he was 1 of 11 from the field. 0 of 6 from 3. Only 2 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists. Dwight Powell, pretty much a normal kind of, solid Dwight Powell game, 21 minutes. He had 13 points, 5 rebounds, 5 of 7 from the field. Jalen Brunson, rough night from him. As I said, Luka didn't get much help in this game. And Jalen Brunson, 4-12. Only 1 of 6 from 3. Finished with 11 points, 6 rebounds, only 1 assist. So, not enough from him. Obviously, he's not hitting, but didn't really, create either. But I guess you can also give that up to guys who weren't making their shots. So it's hard to, do something on that end. But only 11 points, that's not good. Then off the bench, Spencer came in, did some good things in the first half. Especially to try to keep us in it, but he only finished with 11 points. He was 4-10 from the field, 1 of 5 from 3, 2 rebounds. He had 4 assists. So, these guys were trying to move the ball, but, open shots were not going down. I'm going to have to repeat myself. Mavericks just went cold tonight. And add to it, Max Kleber, 21 minutes, 4-10 from the field. 1 of 6 from 3. So he made 1 3, but missed 5. And he finished with 9 points, 6 rebounds. He had 2 assists. And then, we had some other guys here and there play, Frank, Josh Green and stuff. But nobody else, honestly, notable to really mention. And guys just weren't hitting shots tonight. We finished shooting the game 23% from 3. We were 10 of 43. Only made 10 threes out of 43 attempts. We were 23%. That's crazy. And, from the field, just in general, man, it was 35. We were 35. That's of 90. Out of 90 shots, that's 38%. Basically 39%. So, no bueno, man. Just things were not falling, not going our way. Fouls, I feel like fouls definitely did not go our way. But that was just me. The free throw, they only had like 5 more free throws. But if we could have just made some of these shots, we definitely would have been in it. But man, it was brutal. It's a brutal box score to look at. Other than Luka's stat line. Other than that, it's just brutal, man. And credit to them. They came out. They shot 51% from the field. We did not. I feel like the Mavs. We missed shots. And then at the beginning of the game, we really were turning it over a lot than we're accustomed to. But it felt like a lot more than what I think they had in the first quarter. It was like 6-3. Or maybe it was the first half. It was like only 6 turnovers to their 3. They only had 3 turnovers. Like they took care of the ball. Good for them. Looking up the stats right now, or looking back at the stats, total turnovers Dallas had 11. They only had 9. So they did a good job taking care of the ball. We only had 11, which is still under what we averaged. So it's good. But I feel like in this type of game where they're taking care of the ball, we got to take care of the ball even better. And that kind of gave them the lead at one point with those turnovers. And other than that, let me see. The rebounding battle actually was even, dead even. Interesting. So that's pretty good. But yeah, the turnovers were not good. It was very sloppy play. Uh, we were missing open shots, but the sloppy play was like it was like an avalanche effect. Once these guys were just missing shots, it was like the confidence and everything and the whole part of the whole game. They were just not looking like themselves. Once they were missing shots and started making turnovers, it was like the intensity on defense just was lacking. It looked like they did not want to be there. Like it was like, all right, let's just go through the motions type shit. They did not bring that intensity tonight that they needed, especially the type of game they were having offensively. They did not bring it enough on the defensive end, and that showed. And it kind of just all, as I said, avalanche together. Like it was like, what's the missed shots? And oh shit, then they start turning it over, or vice versa. And then now they're not playing defense because they're not hitting shots and things aren't going their way on offense. So that part kind of sucks and kind of stings to see. But bad shooting nights, they happen. And honestly, I guess if you're gonna look at it, this is kind of a big game. In a sense, next game, we'll get to that later, but next game really big. But this game is kind of a big game in a sense of, we know that they're trying to climb up the ladder, so to speak, in the rankings and catch us. And we're not trying to give up our ranking. We're trying to climb ourselves. So this was one of those big games where we really needed to show out and come out and get the win. We weren't able to do it. It is what it is. Bad shooting, oh man. Pat Bev was all barking. Luka, you could tell Luka was like trying to still do it. Hey man, don't forget who I am. He hit threes on everybody. He was even barking. Had one guy get mad at him because he probably called him trash. But that's just how I guess Pat Bev is spread to spread to the team that he's on now. All these young guys now, all of a sudden they're barking at the mouth and. You say something to Luka just because, the rest of the team's having an off night. Don't forget who Luka is, man. Already 2-time first team All NBA. Yeah, y'all better check yourself before you wreck yourself because he ain't gonna let that shit give. Yeah, he's gonna remember that shit. Honestly, when I was watching this, I was like, man, even in the blowout, I was like, man, I hope we play them in the playoffs. I hope somehow, some scenario, they get to the 6th seed. We somehow cruise up to the 3rd seed or some crazy scenario where they even we're in the 4 or 5 seed. Man, I want to play Minnesota so bad. I would love to kick their ass in the playoff series. I would love for Luka to just fucking torch them. I feel like the whole Pat Bev thing is like, all right, we get it. Like, okay, that's why you're in the NBA. That's what makes you. But it's just. Nah, it's getting kind of ridiculous the last couple times now, or last few times we've been playing them, especially with the whole background with Pat Bev, him getting played off the court because Luka just dominating him. So I would love to see that happen to this Minnesota team in the playoffs if we played them. I know they would provide some matchup problems with Cat, but I would love a matchup with them. I think Luka would go dynamite and off on these guys, and I feel like we would have a better game and would definitely win that series. I would pick us to win in 5. Yeah, for sure. Thinking about oh yeah. But yeah, it is what it is. It's an L. But so we move on, and oh man, what a big win this would have been. Because if they would have won this game, we would have had the 4 seed. Because during this game, we find out that Utah Jazz had lost earlier tonight. So then, if the Mavs win, we would have had priority in that. So, damn, we missed out on that. And hopefully, we still catch up. There's still plenty of games left. I think there's still like 10 or so games. And Mavs have a lot of catching up to do. And honestly, real quick, I'll wait till we get back. I'm gonna have a little break. We're gonna have a little ad break, and then when I come back, I'm gonna let y'all know what are some key factors of why the Mavs are, falling behind like they are. All right, man. Two key factors. I feel like these last 10 games are underrated, or that people are kind of looking over. Uh, I just wanted to bring up was one. I think we all know about Maxi Kleber, how Maxi Kleber has, his shooting and just slump of play. Really not on the defensive end, but on the offensively. And he's just so hesitant offensively shooting. It's, feels like it's almost rubbing off on other people. I'm like seeing other people now pass up shots, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Well, in this game at least. But, but here it was like, I wanted Maxi to hopefully step up in this game where everybody's missing. Maybe he can knock down some and get us some momentum, and that didn't happen. But looking at stats, last 10 games only shooting 15%, 4 points. It's not good, 25% from the field, so just not doing good. However, the point I wanted to bring up too is another forgotten role player that's not doing so well shooting, which is Reggie Bullock, man. I went and looked up, his last 10, our last 10 games, he's played 6 of them. He's only shooting 25% from 3 and 32% from the field. So not much better. So when you have two of your main, role players, guys that get a lot of minutes on this team and that we really kind of depend on too, to a certain extent, to at least, fill their jobs, it's for them to not make their shots because they are basically 3-and-D guys. Maxi's more for the post, the 4 area, but can also guard wings. And then Reggie is mainly the wings. That he's big enough where you could put him on anyone in the wing, any wing or guard. It's a guard. And they're 3-and-D, so they're playing defense, but the 3 part is what we're having a concern with because they're just not hitting lately. And we know Reggie just came back, so maybe he is working to try and get into a rhythm. Hopefully he finds that rhythm right before we get into playoffs. But really hope for that. And same for Maxi. Like we really hope both of these guys pop out their slump because we're gonna need these guys to knock down consistent jumpers, open shots in the playoffs. Because that's what they're getting. They're getting open shots. It's not like they're having to get tough looks. They're getting open looks. It's just about starting to knock them down. And hopefully they come out of the slump, man. But looking up Reggie's number, I was like, damn, man, I feel like he wasn't making a lot, and he hasn't been making a lot. Looked at his number, 25% in the last 10 games. He's played 6, so it's like, damn. So hopefully he comes out because on the season he's actually shooting 34%, which of course we all know he had a major slump at the beginning of the season before he finally caught fire. But overall shooting about almost like 35% is about average, league average. But 25% this last 10 games he played 6. The last 6 games is not not good. So hopefully him and Maxi really figure that shit out. But other thing about the Mavericks was that I wanted to touch on was the road games. And I saw this graphic come up on the Valley Sports Network, man, where they talked about our last road games, and I thought that something was going off with our last time. We keep going on the road. At home we're handling business, but we go on the road, kind of been flopping it. And then they showed the last 11 road games. In the previous 11, we were 7-1, good percentages, whatnot. Last 3, last 3 road games were 0-3, only shooting 32% from the 3, letting the opponent shoot 42% from their 3, or from 3 for them. Our offensive rating is down almost like 10 points per game, and our defensive rating just shoots sky high, which is not good. So, Mavs really got to focus on when they're on the road, they got to bring it just like they bring it at home. They have to. They have to understand that. Because we can't have these lackadaisical games, especially when we get close to the playoffs. We got to, tighten things up. And hopefully, the coaching staff, knows that too. And they know that. The Mavericks know that. And hopefully they're working hard and really, having to gather themselves for and use that mental toughness for the playoffs to come up and do what you're supposed to do on the road too, not just at home. And luckily, the Mavs do play at home the next 2 games. And the next game, man, is big, guys. The next game is big. Next game, we play the Jazz here at home. And that's who we're fighting for this 4th seed. And this will be a big momentum swing. If we can come up, get this win, and hopefully start a run of, wins where we can start stacking up and, going ahead of them in the standings. And that would be fucking amazing. So if we're going to do it, this is when we have to do it. We can go ahead, scrap this last game. I guess you can call it to the cold weather in Minnesota, them just kind of like, it's towards the end of the season. Guys are kind of probably, Luka was sitting out because it's kind of, people think maybe he's hurt or something, but no, he's just fatigued, man. It's a long season. At the end of this, towards the end of the season, guys, we've seen this, it's regular all the time. The guys start to get rest. And, smart coaches do rest their players because you want them fresh for the playoffs. And so it's just a mental grind. So hopefully the Mavs can snap back into it because these next games are crucial, man. I feel like these next 5 games are I don't want to say they're big, but they're honestly going to be fun to watch, if anything. Next we play the Jazz, home versus the Jazz, which is, again, as I said already, big 4-5 seed potential. We need to get that season series, so then hopefully later on we can win if it comes down to tiebreaker, we have at least the head-to-head tied, and then it goes into hopefully, we can, depends on the rest of the schedule on who wins their division, to move forward if that's the tiebreaker. But hopefully we can go ahead, build a lead on them, get some wins, and we don't have to worry about that. But, we play the Jazz next. Then after that, we play the Lakers. Then after that, it's the Cavaliers at Cavaliers. So that's a tough road game. And then we play which isn't a tough game, but it's at the Wizards next Friday. So it's not going to be like a tough game, but it's going to be a big juiced up game for the 2 guys on the court. Really, probably 3 with Spencer Dinwiddie, Luka, KP, and then Dinwiddie all, That's going to be just a juicy game. Everybody's going to be, wanting to watch. And then the game after that, the 5th game that it could be eye-popping and stuff, we play the Bucks after that. So those last, and then after that, we play Pistons, Trailblazers, Spurs to finish the season. So nothing really big there. But these next 5 games are they're going to be entertaining to say the least. And especially the Mavs want to move forward. And we've heard them talk about how they do want to go for that 4th seed. So, hopefully they can do it. Hopefully they will be able to start a streak now. Go ahead and, refresh, regroup, take this L, learn from it, get in the gym, start working hard. Hopefully, Maxey and Reggie can turn around their shooting slumps. Hopefully Jalen Brunson can figure out his shit too. And we can get this thing rolling again, man, because this Mavs team has looked great, man. They really have. They turned their season around. They're playing great defense. Finally, after these last 2 seasons, defense has been absent. So for them to finally get this defensive mentality, it's really awesome to see. And then now we have our 3 main, ball handlers that we needed. Especially, the last 2 playoffs that we, showed that we needed some ball handlers, some extra guys. And, yeah, man, this is going to be exciting. It's a last stretch. If you're just tuning in, it's a good time to, tune in. Whole bunch of seeding implications. Every night, everybody's going to be checking the standings. Well, if you're a crazy hoop head, you probably are. You're always checking the standings. Like, oh, man, look who's going up and down here. But, yeah. But yeah, other than that, man, I'll see y'all then on against the Jazz on Sunday after that game, man. I'll give y'all the rundown on that. Hopefully that'll be a big dub. Hopefully Luka comes out, guns blazing against Rudy Gobert and just fucking torches him off the court. And that'll be fun to watch, man. And so that's pretty much it. That's all I have. Hey, I'm AG. Thanks for listening. You can follow on Twitter if you want at Mavs_rundown. This is Matt Podcast, Mavs Rundown. It's on YouTube, also along with Spotify. Don't forget all that. Anchor app, all that. Shout out. And remember, cool heads prevail, guys. And I'll see y'all next time on the Mavs Rundown.